We mentioned thousands of runners from Hawaii and around the world are making their way through Waikiki and out to East Honolulu right now. The 2012 Honolulu Marathon kicked off at 5 o'clock this morning along Ala Moana Boulevard. And we continue our team coverage with KITV4's Andrew Pereira, who is standing by live right along the race route. He's by Kaimuki Middle School, about 10 miles into the race. And good morning, Andrew. How is it looking now?
Well, the sun is just breaking the horizon here. As you mentioned, we're at Kaimuki Middle School, and you can see the throngs of runners coming by us right now. Some of the 31,083 runners, let's take a look at these numbers. 31,083 runners registered for the 40th annual Honolulu Marathon. I'm told that's the best number in about 15 years. Now, of those, 16,283 came from Japan. The record for registrations was set in 1995 when a record 34,434 runners registered for the race. So we're about 3,000 down from the record high set back in 1995. However, I'm told that this could be the most significant year as far as economic stimulus from this race, as much as $120 million pumped into the economy as these thousands of runners from all across the globe converge in Honolulu. Now, once the runners make their way past Kilauea, they'll head on to Kalanianaʻole Highway, and they'll go down the course on Kalanianaʻole, where the Makai side lanes of Kalanianaʻole are closed, and so the police are contraflowing the Mauka-bound side of Kalanianaʻole Highway. So there's some heads up for commuters who are trying to make their way about East Honolulu today. Now, we've just gotten an update, and the men should be finishing up right about now. They usually set a pace of about 2 hours, 10 minutes, right around there. And the last update that we got, Julius O'Reilly from Kenya, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, but Julius O'Reilly from Kenya was in the lead. Of course, there's always a tight race at the finish, those last 300 yards. And on the women's side, Karoi Yoshida of Japan was in the lead, and they should be headed to the finish line at Kapiolani Park in just a few minutes. And we've seen some notable folks, some familiar faces come by the race. We saw Brian Clay, the Hawaii decathlete, of course, come by with his wife Sarah about a half hour, 40 minutes ago. It's his first marathon ever for Brian Clay. Of course, he won the silver medal in the decathlete back in 2004 in the Olympics, and then he was a gold medalist winner back in 2008. So some familiar faces coming by us, and of course just throngs of people, some of the 31,083 registrants coming by here at Kaimuki Middle School, where this is the 10-mile marker. They still have 16 miles to go, believe it or not, once they come by this location. Paul, Jill, back to you.
Well, yeah, it looks like there's a lot of spirit still out on the course, but Andrew, I guess this is coming downhill. So what are they expecting as they get a little bit farther down the course now? I guess this is where it gets really kind of challenging.
Yeah,
right?
Actually, it flattens out a little bit, but you know, they've just made their way up Diamond Head, and that tremendous hill, you know, that's actually a tough hill after you've been running for about 8 miles or so. And so once they come down Kilauea, a little bit of a respite as they go downhill. But then it flattens out a little bit as they make their way to Kalanianaʻole. But then they have to head back, of course, and they encounter those same hills that they encountered on the way past us. So a little bit of a challenging course, but the cool temperatures that Paul has been forecasting, and he talked about this morning, still holding up, and there's actually a nice breeze coming through right now, keeping the runners cool. A little bit of a headwind for them, which slows them down a little bit, but overall it's still nice and cool. But as that sun comes up in the next half hour or so, it's definitely going to warm up for these runners.
All right. Thanks a lot, Andrew, for that report, and we'll check back with you in a few minutes.